Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, General Matty Goldberg. What up, dudes? How you been?
What up, boys?
So,
what's going on? Anything
I'm back home. It's nice.
You're back home?
where were you?
Well, remember, I was on the road last week. I was in a hotel.
Last week. Yeah.
I'm on the road next week, too.
Damn.
Okay. Where you
know,
going
Jim,
this
they
time?
say
Same
the
place,
road
literally
ain't
the
no
same
place to
place,
start a
Matty.
family.
Literally the same place.
Okay.
I'm going to Omaha.
Does your girl get upset when you're out on the road laying cable?
Yeah, actually, because it seems like something drastic happens. So, like, 2 times ago when I left, she had a bad fall, had to go to the emergency room. She was in the hospital for, like, the entire week while I was gone.
Wow.
And then last week when I was gone, I think one of our cats might be getting sick, so I'm going to take it to the vet this Friday.
Okay.
We're worried about a potential UTI.
Oh no.
So maybe I shouldn't be traveling if some like stuff seems to keep happening.
Yeah.
That same shit happened when my wife leaves and our animals. Well, granted, we had 2 very old animals. We have 2 very young animals now, but yeah, it was just disaster after another every time she left. It seemed with the old ones.
We're rocking with 4 cats.
Oh, you're leaning into the cat daddy.
Oh,
Maddie,
dude,
what's going on with you?
big cat daddy energy.
Well, I'm a little upset because I bet on the T-Wolves first half.
Oh, I don't think that went that well, did it?
No, they decided not to play basketball the first half, and I'm like taking it personal.
You think they're going to come back?
Fucking on purpose. And then I'm like, Anthony Edwards ain't that dude, blah, 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 ain't that guy. You're never going to win with what's his face? The guy they got from the Knicks who stinks.
Julius Randle.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Yeah.
They need one more player, but like, if you want to be that guy, you got to score more than 12 points. You got to take more than 2 shots a half. You got to come out like the way Tyrese Halliburton's been playing. I mean, he's playing like possessed. I told a buddy the other day, I'm like, he's better than Tatum. He said I was dumb, but I don't know. I stick by it. I'd rather have Halliburton than Tatum, if you ask me.
Well, one of those players is playing in
Maddie.
the conference finals, and the other is not.
No, one does have a ring, but the Celtics were loaded last year. Halliburton's been just amazing. He's been the fun guy of the playoffs.
Can you believe that was like a month ago where all the players voted he was the most overrated player in the league?
Yeah, I think they just don't like his personality.
No.
But he's probably, in my opinion, the most underrated guy I've seen. I've watched all the stars play in the playoffs, and to me, he's the most underrated.
Yeah, he's really interesting because he doesn't look like any other player on the court. No. He's like slender, and then he has this weird jerky motions thing.
You know what I noticed, Ben? Tell me if you agree with this. He looks like he's playing on ice skates, where it's not that he's slow or he's uncoordinated, but he's like gliding when he dribbles. I've never seen a guy look like he's gliding while he dribbles.
I was gonna say like antelope legs, like his legs look long.
Yeah,
like. Well, he's taking like long strides to me. It looks like because Matty's like nailed on the head because he doesn't look slow, but he kind of looks slow.
He's a lot like Reggie Miller. I watched them both play, and Reggie was a better 3-point shooter. Reggie didn't really have a basketball body. He was very frail and thin, but they both have this like sense of how to play, where to be, understand, like mentally almost better than most of the other players,
Yeah. It's interesting. I you're right. I hadn't really watched much Pacer basketball before this series, and now I'm like, oh man, this is a fun team.
They're very fun, and they're probably not as good as OKC, and they'll probably lose to them about 5 or 6, but at least they will play hard.
I'll say this about Tyrese Halliburton. So they had his dad had a run-in with Giannis.
Yeah.
In the last series.
Sure.
So 2 series ago, and so they kind of banned his dad from the games, and then his dad was actually back last night, and they're like, "What was it like to have your dad back. And he's like, it was special, but honestly, it was a little more special because Triple H was there last
That's
night.
awesome.
Yeah.
What wrestler would make it the most special?
For me?
Yeah, if you're playing in like the Eastern Conference Final or the Western
I'm gonna say
Conference, either
Sandman.
one. Yeah.
Just a random Sandman.
So
Like
Maddie, I'm gonna try to put it in your shoes. You're at like a poker tournament, okay?
Yeah.
And then there's just a random wrestler comes in to cheer you on at this tournament. Sandman.
Maybe Austin, maybe The Rock, maybe
If Ric Flair comes in to like cheer Maddie
Ric
on,
Flair would be awesome. Maybe Herb Abrams from the dead.
He gives you a little woo. He gives you a couple woos.
Herb Abrams shows up in his snakeskin UWF boots.
Yeah, he's still alive, they say.
Yeah.
Some say
he shows up to high school gym shows to curse him.
Yeah. Jim, what about you?
Would it be the quarterback Louis Perez?
I mean, yeah,
a wrestler. We're talking wrestler,
UFL superstar.
Guy. We all know he'd get a boner over Louis Perez.
I would.
Actually, he's got one now. Just talking about him.
I can get the book right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I told you, Luke, right here.
Oh, that's right.
Got his book.
The spring.
He has a book deal.
Yeah.
Maddie, these are the stories people want to know about.
It's like an autobiography sort of thing.
Who cares about winning the Super Bowl?
Why not get one of your coworkers, about putting up cable?
That's no.
I mean, that's probably
the Road King.
No.
Yeah. All right, Jim, name a wrestler you want showing up rooting you on.
Some guy who works at Chipotle.
Rey Mysterio. I just think it'd be funny.
Wearing the mask?
Yeah, masked up, like full garb.
Yeah. All right.
And he doesn't say anything. He just looks menacing.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, as far as alive wrestlers go, I would want the Honky Tonk Man lowered from the ceiling, and like James Brown and Rocky IV, and then he's just singing me a little, rockabilly type song. Like,
I would love that.
Lukey, go, look, Lukey, go, 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 and then he bashes someone over the head with his guitar. I think these are all great fantasies grown men should be having.
I think so.
All right. So, yeah, basketball, it is looking pretty decided as OKC it's winding down in the third quarter, and they're up by like damn near 30 over the Timberwolves.
27 right now, baby.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, this one's all
Indiana
over.
just looks like they have the Knicks number, even though those games have been a lot of fun. They're really like some of the most fun series with it being as lopsided as it is. They're 3-1.
Well, I think the thing with the Pacers and Knicks, like the series is lopsided, but the games have been like actually at least exciting.
Yeah, no, the games have been great. Yeah, I mean, it's just funny that it's just 3-1 when it feels like it should be 2-2 almost, But the Pacers are just going at it. I haven't seen a team like this in a long time.
What do you guys think about the takes people were having online of being like, oh, it's going to be Oklahoma City and Indiana?
You know what? Here's my feeling. If it's two big teams, everybody's like, it's two big teams. You're getting a little parity. Whatever. You're not happy. Don't watch it. What can I say? You want to watch it, watch it. You don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
I think it's going to come down to performances, really. I think if you get good performances, then I think people will start tuning in. I mean, yes, an Indiana team versus an Oklahoma team is not exciting on paper by the name, but if you like basketball,
what constitutes like a small market? Like a San Antonio a small market?
Yeah, so that was the problem they had too. Like small market, like mid-sized market, not a coastal type city, not LA, not New York, not Chicago. I mean, Detroit's even a mid-sized market now too.
If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. And if you do, you do. Like, what can you do?
Because, for me, that would be, as it stands right now, the way these teams are playing, like Oklahoma City, Indiana would be the matchup because they're both playing super fun. Yeah, it'd be fun as hell.
It was really funny, I think, the other night because, Yeah, like everybody was out last night for Indiana, but I think the other game, like it was just like John Mellencamp was representing Indiana's like superstar fan base. It was just funny because you never see this dude anywhere. Like he's just not a he still lives on a farm in Indiana. Like
Well, he loves his Pacers.
what did you think of Pat McAfee roasting those New York big city celebs?
I didn't see it, but I can only imagine him doing his dumb shtick.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb.
I mean, nobody's really bothered by him because they know he's like doing a wrestling kind of take on it, you know?
Right. It would have been funny to see him just see how
That's
far
what
he
he's
could
actually
throw
good at.
Timothy
He's good at
Chalamet.
being silly like that, as opposed to being a real sports journalist,
Yeah.
which is bad at. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you take him seriously, you're a fool. Though the Knicks fans, I gotta say, their hubris was way ahead of them. The way they treated that guy throwing garbage at him, the way they treated Brian Windhorst throwing crap at him, like
Oh yeah.
they got out of hand. They became worse than
It
Philadelphia.
is really funny how
They didn't win shit. They won 2
fan
rounds.
bases that are not used to winning just turn into the worst people all of a sudden. And that was just getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up and win something.
When was the last time they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals?
25
years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Whenever
I'm okay with the fans going crazy, but yeah, 100% the douchebags like throwing shit.
Yeah, there's one thing.
And I don't like people fucking with Brian Windhorst either.
No,
that was gross.
No,
he's already battled his
Windhorst.
A1C. He doesn't need to battle some.
As he's walking like by himself, he was like physically being harassed and being like laughed at just because he's not like a cool guy or whatever. It's like I got news for you. You wish you could have his fucking job.
He's cool, Luke, in the way that like I think we need more like sports dorks.
Yeah. Like John Clayton was, you know,
yeah.
like they're not built for television, but they're just so good they gotta be
John Clayton was
he would kill it. He would kill like imagine a guy like Windhorst in like the strict like the pre-television days, like just on radio. Oh yeah.
Crush.
I just like I feel like the networks like Fox and ESPN and whatnot, they need more just like sports dorks.
Right. I agree. I mean, Bill Simmons made a whole career out of it, so well, why not?
I get his feed on his YouTube. He's still doing his thing.
Who? What?
Bill Simmons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has a big podcast, doesn't he?
No, he's like every few years he sells like a company for $100 million.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah, he made a good life for himself.
But you know, when you get 2 small market teams, everybody's gonna cry about it. But again, it's like you're watching for basketball. Are you watching for the fan bases or the basketball?
Well,
like, well put, Matty.
Is and we've discussed this before, is that the NBA really does better when there is a dynasty too. That's another thing. 2 teams that have never won it. These are young guys too. Like SGA just won his first Player of the Year. Yeah. Halliburton's still on the rise too. So I don't know. It's like so much newness for a lot of people. Like a lot of these people are not household names.
I wouldn't be like Minnesota, like to beat Golden State. I don't know if it really counts because once Curry was out, they almost got like a bye. They beat the Lakers. I give you that, but they're not a championship team or even close. Like this series, they were garbage. And I do believe OKC is a championship team, but they deserve more of a battle than this.
Yeah, it's depth and defense. That's what it is now. We had Terry Bradshaw's getting a little pissed off about the Steelers still fucking around with Aaron Rodgers, who won't commit. This is the biggest will they, won't they in years.
But the thing is, like, say, okay, forget it. Where else is he going to go? Nobody else wants him.
He's 41 years old. You're going to get him for 1 year. He goes, this guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there.
Yes, he does.
Which I mean, I'm sure he's doing anyways.
Well, here's what
you
I'll
do
say.
that in Pittsburgh, right? Now, like the Pittsburgh Aaron Rodgers is a guy who like smokes menthol cigarettes and hangs out in alleyways.
I mean, I'll
and
just
like
compare
converses
Tom
with people.
Brady.
I want that Aaron Rodgers.
I also want that Aaron Rodgers.
I'll compare Tom Brady. Just he wanted to go to a new team. There was no drama. He signed with the Bucks. He did the dumb thing by retiring and coming back, but he signed with the Bucks.
He had to do that to get out of the contract, though, right?
Yeah, there was no drama. He just got it done. Like, this is just going on too long, and it's like you should either know if you want to play by now. You should know by now if you want to play by now. It's like,
yeah,
you're the quarterback. You're the leader of the team. You have to show leadership now, too.
Right. I mean, OTAs have already, like it's nuts to think that
I would pass because
at least in the building
Super Bowl with them. So what's the point? Why have if you ain't winning the Super Bowl? You're better off having a bad year, finally losing some games, trying to get a quarterback.
They're not going to lose any games though. Like they'll win. They'll have a winning record with fucking Mason Rudolph back there.
I don't think they will.
I mean, till I see otherwise, dude.
I think 7-10 with me. I think they'll win 7 games.
Guys, okay, let's get a wager going on.
They got a defensive.
Mason Rudolph is the starting quarterback.
I'll put $20 that they have.
I'll do $20, Matty. I'll do $20.
All right.
But that they have a losing record for you.
If Rudolph is the quarterback.
Well, who? Okay, so what other quarterback do they have? It's
anybody but Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Deal.
Oh, so you're even opening it up. Anybody?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I'll give you the field.
So they have, because it's Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, Skylar Thompson. That's the quarterback
field. I'll give you not only that. I'll give you if Johnny Unitas comes out of retirement.
Wow.
I'll give you if they get Patrick Mahomes in a trade. I'll send you the $20 right now.
All right. I don't think you can.
But if Aaron Rodgers signs, the bet is off. Deal.
So that's fine. No, that is fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like
they did it. Like my whole thing is like they did it with Kenny Pickett.
Bradshaw was big on Kenny Pickett too. He's like they fucked Kenny Pickett up.
So you have a great chance of winning.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. It's a good bet.
You're gonna be $20 richer, and
you guys want to bet whether Stefon Diggs stays on the team on the Patriots or not?
No,
I love this shit. I love it. He should. This is prime wide receiver one energy.
What is he doing now?
Okay, so he was filmed on a big boat, of course,
on a yacht.
On a yacht.
Not with who he's currently in a relationship with either.
Okay.
He's in a committed relationship right now?
I believe he's in a relationship with Cardi B.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And who is he with?
So
just there were bunch of randos.
Just some thoughts, scantily clad bikini women.
Probably some Instagram models.
Pulls out a bag with some pink crystals in it, and he's like, what's my name? And they call him Daddy and stuff.
Is this like P. Diddy?
Yeah, and then he's like, I think he gives it to him or something, and he's like, yeah, come back later when that kicks.
Is this for real?
It is 100% for real.
Yeah. I mean, it was on film, dude. Like, also, who the fuck films? I'm assuming this is not a friend. This might be unless it's the same guy who filmed Morgan Wallen.
Steel toe tape this.
Yeah, like, it was just freaking hilarious. I'm like, dude, it's one thing that sucks about sports. Here's the one thing that sucks about sports.
Everything's on Twitter, Matty.
Yeah, by the time you mature, like your career's over,
Yeah.
Like you can't
it's true.
party
that
hard in your 20s
you grow up.
Athlete,
You do grow up when you're like 33, 34, 35, 40. God. I mean, yeah, 30, like 31. How old is he? Probably 30, 31. I mean, he's still a kid in a sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, who knows what
a kid with a lot of means too, and
I just think it's a bad fit because he's such a diva, and it's like, why are you gonna have him with a young quarterback? The last thing a young quarterback needs a guy like screaming at him to get him the ball. That's not how Drake May is gonna develop. I just think it's I always thought it was a bad marriage. He really should be on a contender. He's a very good receiver, a great he's probably lost his steps, so he's a great possession receiver that probably belongs on a team that's like a third receiver away. So I don't know, but as long as you're talented, you can get away with that stuff, I think.
I felt it was like perfect wide receiver one energy. It's chaotic.
Yeah.
It's very diva-ish, and it's a little bit degenerate. That's what I want to see out of my wide receiver one.
Well, is he in
That's
a
what you want to see
relationship?
out of your wide receiver one
Yeah, I want
on
to see
your
crazy
team.
energy. I mean, Tyreek Hill's like kind of
I
had
mean,
crazy like
the
off
thing
Oh
seasons
yeah,
too.
he's
Yeah.
nuts, but at least he's not been caught with
the thing I was
drugs.
surprised about Diggs too is that even though he got hurt, Houston made no effort to keep him. Like
Yeah,
Houston was like, will
He's probably a head case, dude.
yeah,
Like,
he was a head case in Buffalo, and he was, the way he would deal with Josh Allen, you'd see him like screaming at Josh Allen. If anything, Josh seemed a little more relaxed without him because, you're so concerned about getting him the ball. That's what your main priority is when you have a guy like that. And yeah, I'm never like for instance, I got in a fight with a guy in poker. I told you about the whole Pickens thing. And he's a huge Cowboys guy, and he's an idiot, and he falls for the Cowboys bullshit. And he's like, we got Pickens. And I'm
oh
like,
god,
so? I'm like, it's why do you think when the Steelers with a guy with that much talent got rid of him after 4 years, what makes you think he's gonna go to Dallas and be a model citizen? Like none of these guys are ever model citizens, ever. They'd rather Antonio Brown themselves than like change. And every team thinks we'll bring them into our culture, we'll change them. We have a winning culture, this, that. It's always the same shit. So you got to be very careful.
yeah, it is funny the talent level of these guys and the diva level, and then you look at like people like Jerry Rice and Kelvin Johnson, who are like really good people, you know.
There's a lot of good guys and there's a lot of bad
Julio
guys.
Jones too. Yeah.
Julio
Yeah,
Jones, great guy. Shit, I don't know. I mean, there's so many good guys, and there's guys that are like Tyreek Hill that have all the talent in the world that they're probably more headache than what they can do to help your team. I mean, the Chiefs have one Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill, they got two without him. So they don't miss him that much. And they probably realized, that they were heading for like Miami. No offense, this is gonna be a rough year.
So,
This is where it
so you
all
think,
falls
Maddie?
apart.
So
what do
you
you mean?
think, Maddie?
What do you mean? They got fucking Quinn Ewers.
Oh yeah, my
Damn right.
bad. Quinn Ewers.
Texas legend.
Mm-hmm.
Sad news in wrestling. R.I.P. Rick Derringer. Jim,
Yep.
does that name mean anything to you without looking it up?
I no, it sounds like it's a name that I've heard.
Yeah, I know this because I
That's
put him on
about it.
Instagram.
Okay.
I
Well,
know. I can tell you, but I won't. I'll let Luke.
well, go ahead, say it. Say it, Maddie.
I'll
What's he
give you
known
three
for?
notes, Jim. Tell me what you think. Dan, dan, dan. Well, I'll give you 6 notes. Dan, 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 dan. That was 7.
I got no.
I'll give you some lyrics. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
Okay. Okay.
Is that too big of a hint?
That is the biggest hint. Yeah, I get
They
it now.
may take my heart, they may take my pride. I gotta be a man, I can't let it slide. I am a real American. This hits you.
Yeah,
That
it's
does
funny.
hit.
Not even a Hogan fan, but hard not to get chills when that
I
shit
know.
starts playing.
When that music comes on and Hogan comes out.
It hits. It hits. That does hit every time.
Back during the Gulf War, the Desert Storm matches.
Yeah. Ooh. Also known for rock and roll, hoochie coo.
Ow, ow, ow.
And he played with Edgar Wright too. Came up with the lick for Frankenstein.
He's 74 years old.
Yeah, really well-traveled musician, a great fucking musician who's most popular song was the Hulk Hogan theme song.
You know what? Nothing wrong with that.
No, yeah. I'm sure there's a fuck ton of royalties behind that too.
Probably wrote it with Jimmy Mouth of the South. Wrote like 90% of the song.
Oh yeah, he did. They played that in Eastbound and Down season 2 when Kenny Powers was in Mexico, and they had him come out to that song.
He goes, "Make him wait."
Well, it's a great song. No one's going to mind waiting if that song's playing.
Fight for your rights.
Oh. Might have had a heel turn from Mary Lou Renton. America's gymnast sweetheart. Won the 1984 gold medal Olympics. Was it 84 or 88?
Yeah, this one I had no idea when I saw it on the rundown, Luke. I was like, I have no idea who this person is.
No, she was basically like, okay, so gymnastics were always dominated by Eastern Europe in the Olympics. And then she went out there and won the overall women's gold.
She was Simone Biles.
She was just cute as fuck. Just this little thing with a big, then she gets on the Wheaties boxes. Yeah. And this was huge. And then it was weird. A few years ago, she had pneumonia really bad, and her family raised money for like a GoFundMe, because apparently she didn't have insurance. It was all kind of a little sus. And then they raised like almost $500,000. And then she refused to comment on what they end up doing with the extra, because they only asked for $50,000. So this was 10 times pretty much what the asking was. And then she was pulled over, got a DUI while driving a Porsche.
That's like a DUI vehicle. That's like a rich DUI vehicle.
I know, but it's just fun me to driving a Porsche, like the ultimate rich person.
She was in 1984. She was as a household name as anybody in this country.
Yeah, like picture a LeBron James or
whoever.
Swift. Yeah, Taylor Swift. This was the Taylor Swift of the day.
She would have been box
dating Travis Kelce.
For a summer, she was the it person in our country. Like the Olympics were a massive deal. They're not even like the Olympics were everything. They were bigger than the Super Bowl, bigger than everything.
Yeah, people really gave a shit, because we also had the Cold War going on too. So it really meant something.
Russia.
All right. Well, I hope Mary Lou Renton gets the help she needs. Another heel turn. John Laurinaitis, Vince McMahon's one of his right-hand man, has turned heel on Vince McMahon.
In real life or on
in real life, and is now testifying against him in the sex trafficking case. He was also a defendant too, and then they struck a deal with him.
So he's ratting out.
Yeah.
He's steel towing Vince.
John Laurinaitis. Screw John Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited to see what juicy details he comes out with.
Yeah. Wow, they really want to go after Vince,
legacy.
Don't they?
What's that?
They really want to take Vince down.
Yeah, they want him down, and he's looking like a puppet now, so he's pretty easy to take down at this point, I think. But he's not going to go out with a fight. I'm sure of that.
He never does.
No. Joey Bosa already out with a calf pull.
Well,
how many games will he be playing this year?
15. Like, they're basically just using him as they used Von Miller. So if they can put him,
our defensive ends, like the pitchers of football, like they just put so much torque on their body, with those bending and trying to get to the quarterback and coming from those weird angles. And is it just me, or do these guys get hurt more than others people?
I feel like Bosa gets hurt way more.
Yeah. His brother gets hurt too.
Yeah, the Bosa brothers just have something up with them.
What's that, PED?
It could be. I bet that's probably it.
Heads. Sean Kemp, basketball legend Sean Kemp, pleading guilty to assault charges in a shooting in a parking lot This dude went all Charles Bronson on some thieves when he was at a concert, and they stole his phone too. That was one of the items
So
they
he's
stole. So
gonna
he
get in
just
trouble
tracked him down and shot at him. To me, this sounds just like justice. I don't know why he
Yeah,
needs to be charged with anything. People steal your shit, you should be able to shoot at them. It's the American way.
that is badass.
Jim, I'm real curious what you think of this one.
I fucking. I mean, this is. I feel like. I mean, a pardon might be in order.
Yes.
Like this is rule of cool should apply.
Right. I agree. I think this is totally in Trump's lane of pardoning people too. And so we'll
Fired off
see.
around from a handgun at Mr. Kemp. Oh, he was. Hey, they fired at him too.
Oh yeah, so it's fair.
Reminds me of that Married with Children where he punches out Randall Tex Cobb for breaking in his house, and Randall Tex Cobb has him like is suing him for assault. One of the best efforts.
Was he wearing the neck brace and
episodes
stuff
of all time?
So he's as part of the plea, he cannot have a firearm anymore.
Ah, that's too bad. He'll just get a buddy with a firearm. That's always the solution.
And then he has to submit DNA for the like criminal database.
From the wide world of Asia, we have a robot fight league.
We've had a robot fight league. If you guys pay attention, you guys remember BattleBots?
Oh yeah, I love BattleBots, but these are humanoid robots.
Yeah, I saw this. That's actually it's like big old rock'em sock'em.
They're kickboxers. It's bizarre, but also insanely cool.
I love this shit.
Would you guys watch this?
You're asking me if I would watch it? Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd
I think
watch
you
it
would.
religiously, but I'd
Yeah.
watch it like I'd definitely give it a couple times. It's robots just punching each other. It's awesome.
It's so weird.
Like they're not very fast. They're not super coordinated. They fall over all the time.
Right. Well, you got to remember these humanoid robots as they are now. It's in their infancy.
Oh yeah.
Only like in the last 3 years or so, have humanoid robots been really became something that companies were interested in developing and started putting billions of R&D into. So this could actually get really fucking cool at some point. So Maddie, I don't feel you would have any interest in this. Am I right?
No, could care less.
Did you guys ever watch that Hugh Jackman movie and like the Real Steel?
Real Steel.
Wolfman Jack.
But that was at least like, wasn't he controlling the robot?
Yeah.
Like,
So him and the kid, like you control the robots and stuff like that. Maybe we'll get there.
Oh yeah, well that's how a lot of robots. So you can do that now. You can do That's how Elon Musk was training his robots with the teleoperation, they call it, and that's how the robots learn. They don't do that anymore, but you can do that. You can get remote control access of these robots.
Do that. Let's get Gundams. That's what I want. I want mechs.
What?
You got Gundams like mechs, like mech suits.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want.
I know there would have to be some way to deliver pain to the human though. That would be kind of because that's half the battle in fighting is the heart of that guy. He's just getting walloped upside.
There should be a way to do that now.
We'll see. I mean, wasn't that like jousting? They were in suits of armor.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, there has to be a way to like, you hook something up over here and have like a pad or something connected to your body.
Yeah.
And then just like zaps you or something.
Okay. I'm sure you could do it. Get one of those. You ever use those TENS massager things that give electric voltage?
No, but I've done the like fake pregnancy thing where it's supposed to make you feel like you're getting a contraction.
Oh.
I've done that.
Horrible.
It was not fun.
So have guys fighting in a suit and then give them contractions, pregnancy contractions.
And then you can like, if you get like a bonus or something, or someone in the crowd, they can hit like a bonus, and then it plays the brown noise in both their headsets.
Oh yes.
They shit themselves.
Shit in the suit. They're wearing a suit, D-pants.
Yes.
Tim and Eric.
Sponsored by Depends.
Yes. All right. If you guys are ready for an
I
uplifting story, Dark Side of the Ring, Daphne. Oh my God, hold on. Let me get that music. Let me get that sweet
mm-mm-mm.
music. Oh
Oh
boy.
yeah.
Oh my God. We need one of those like trigger warnings before this one. Oh my God.
On the dark side.
This was not a wrestler I was not familiar with. She kind of
I
came
never
on
heard
the
of her either.
scene after the Attitude Era was kind of wrapping up, I guess. And really only had a stint in TNT before they collapsed and were bought by the WWE. But this is the story of Shannon Spurrell, aka Daphne. She grew up a military brat. She was athletic. She'd break all her fingers as a goalkeeper. And she decided she wanted to be a wrestler. And she auditions. She goes over well in the WCW with a crazy character, Daphne, just before they folded into the WWE. Um, and then she gets diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
That's some
Great.
of the yeah.
You guys
Great
know
for a
anybody with
wrestler.
bipolar disorder?
I do.
Yeah, I have a little bipolar, but she had it real bad.
One of my friend's brothers has it.
Maddie, I
Yeah.
don't think you have bipolar. I'm going to
She had it
diagnose you.
beyond
You just
bad.
got depression. I don't think you're. I've never seen you manic.
Oh, I my mood changes like crazy. I mean, if I win a bet, I'm happy. If I lose a bet, I'm sad. Does that count?
That's just
That's
gambling,
called
Matty.
being a normal human,
That's
Maddie.
gambling, baby.
It doesn't give you bipolar disorder. No, I had a buddy with bipolar disorder, and he had it to the max. Like he would, when he was in a manic streak, he'd pick you up. He'd go like buy you CDs and stuff, and then like write bad checks, and he ended up in jail uh, through one of his manic outfits. Then he'd go on his depression phase, and you couldn't get him out of bed. Um, it's real scary stuff. It's probably hard to explain to an outside person that's not dealing with it. So she gets diagnosed with bipolar disorder and joins Shimmer Wrestling, which was an all-female promotion that was, and this is why while WWE was doing, the TNA kind of the tits and ass wrestling. She had auditioned for WWE after they bought her. They put her through a 9-month training program. They didn't want her, and she was very athletic, really good athlete. But
She had
she
a
joins
Sarah
this.
Palin gimmick.
Yeah, so then she joins this TNA wrestling, which was not tits and ass. It was another promotion. I remember watching it for a while. And she's playing the Sarah Palin character, which is pretty funny because Sarah Palin was very huge at that time. And then she transforms back into Daphne, and everybody loved that Daphne character, who was just known for being just goth and crazy and would scream. And Mick Foley was a huge fan of hers, and he started working matches with her in TNA. And then one time during a hardcore match, she gets thrown through a table and she breaks her arm and suffers a bad concussion. Um, and then she works her way back, several months later, and she was with a giant woman who does a jump sit on her and gives her another concussion and bruises her sternum. And then she sues TNA Wrestling to get, she's trying to get workman's comp and everything. And they gave her like a few $1,000s and 1,000 of her own action figures, which is like, here you go sell your own shit at these
That's so awful.
conventions. Very bizarre settlement.
That is such a weird one. Like 1,000 of your own action.
Well, here's the deal. If you're TNA, you probably have printed a bunch of these things trying to
Oh,
sell them.
100%. It's a no-brainer for them.
Your company's going against WWE, so they're probably fledgling and not
I was
doing
very
well.
confused about this episode, to be honest.
How so, Maddie?
It was just done a different way. It almost seemed like a different team did the documentation. It was very different. It seemed more just like a story about somebody who had health problems as opposed to like the dark side of the ring kind of format.
Yeah, well, it was a different kind of story. They've had a few of these through the years where they don't sort of it's not so much about this linear progression through the ranks and everything. This
Yeah.
one was much more about her uh, struggling with these mental health issues that were compounded by the hits and bumps she took in the ring.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was definitely I mean, all the other wrestlers that were talking about it, and some had bipolar disorder too, and they're talking about how head trauma catapults these things from when they're just bad to really
Yeah.
fucking life threatening bursts of manic depression. Yeah, I mean you're totally right on that, and we've had a couple of these. I don't know. I doubt it's a different team. It's just sort of a different story, a different way to tell a story, I guess.
Well, they
Is
usually get
okay
it right.
because um, the normal format of grew up a wrestling fan, does matches, gets in a bad accident, takes drugs, kind of thing. It's nice to have a little bit different story, even though this one was insanely depressive. Um, so she's trying to make a living. She goes back to the independent scene, and the concussions have definitely amplified her bipolar disorder at this point. She has to quit wrestling, makes a living from appearances, and forms a sort of justice league of bipolar women wrestlers. I'm like, man, there was a lot of women bipolar wrestlers.
I was gonna say that seems like a fairly niche
Yeah, it's
category.
very specific. Yeah. I mean, how many people are open about that too? I mean, it's good. It's great that they're open about it because then, you know, get a, take away the stigma so you can be open and get
How
treatment
many
for it.
bipolar wrestlers are there in general, let alone like just the women?
I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure CTE
Oh, that I mean,
might
definitely that
either look like that too
or
or
cause it.
caught, yeah, definitely amplifies it. And then she gets into two different car wrecks. One, she was drunk. This girl's poor head never had a chance. She has to go to rehab. She gets out, and then she's always been doing like these vlogs. She actually had a very good fan base that was really helping her a lot and would show up to the conventions and buy her stuff and keep her going. And then during a vlog, she starts getting roasted by her own fans because she puts on a lot of weight, and this was really sad. Um, then during COVID, she starts to get isolated, like a lot of people were during COVID. And if you deal with depression, you're isolated. That is not a good combo. Eventually goes live on Instagram and basically is sort of saying her suicide note while she's on Instagram Live. All of her friends and former colleagues are trying to get to her, but it's too late. She had killed herself, and she was missed dearly by all of her friends and former coworkers. They really had nothing but positive things to say
Yeah.
about her, and she really did a lot of good work for women's wrestling and for the bipolar community. So, yeah, this one was just like it was just sort of if yeah, it did feel like this was a story that just happened to be involved with wrestling as opposed to wrestling sort of created what happened. But it was still very interesting. I'm glad I watched. It was a rough
Yeah, it was good.
watch.
Yeah.
Um, but it's good. It's nice to see that this person that I didn't know, I now know about her, and her
Hmm.
legacy will continue on.
And she
And
was very talented.
very talented, super super great athlete, and a great
Yep. And a great
great
character and
great character. Yeah,
great different characters. It's so hard to be a attractive woman and then do a whole nother character where nobody knows it's you. Because they
yeah.
said that nobody knew she was doing the what's it called, Sarah Palin thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny. So hopefully this
This last one looks
episode,
really good.
yeah, this one looks like it might be I don't know what. This is the guy that what's his
It
name?
looks like a Vince McMahon bash a thon coming up.
What
The last one.
the
Because he's
Arab
basically
guy.
getting some wrestler to play like a terrorist.
Right. Yeah.
And basically ruin his life and
What's
his
funny is I used
career.
to see this promo all the time where
I
he's like,
know.
I'm your neighbor. I helped
Yeah.
raise your children. And now since 9/11, you look at me like a terrorist. Well, guess what? Now I am. You know.
So ridiculous.
And he still shows up to conventions wearing like the I don't know what you call it. It's not a turban, but it's a the
And
Iron Sheik
everybody's got to
wore.
eat, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got to eat, even
Gotta
Jimbo.
eat. All
Damn
right. I
right.
think that's Maddie telling me he's trying to eat now. His
Nah, I just
world famous
this is the
broccoli.
dead time of the year, man. This is the hard time. There's not a lot of sports.
Oh,
The
shut up, man.
NBA,
Don't say that to me. Don't
the
stop it.
NBA
Maddie,
conference
do you want to do a hockey update real quick before we get
just
out?
he looks like it's going to be a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup, and let's say in the first time in 32 years, the Oilers will win it all. A Canadian team will hoist the cup this year.
So, okay, now everybody's talking about like it's a Canadian team. Will other Canadians be rooting for this team even if they like hate?
Not if they're true
How does that
fans.
work?
Not if they're
If you
true fans.
no, because if you live in Calgary or Vancouver, you hate the Oilers and
Yeah,
so it depends. Like regionally, no, but if you live in Toronto, you're probably gonna root for the Oilers.
yeah.
But if you're like Vancouver or Calgary, I'd say no.
You don't
That's
think
what I
think
know.
Toronto would? Maple Leafs fans
I
aren't
think
real.
no, Toronto will because they're the other side of the country. But the close places that are the rivals of Edmonton won't.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like
So you're saying anybody like Canadians,
so it's
Toronto,
like
Montreal?
if it's the idea of this. If Indiana's in the college football final, Michigan fans will probably root for Indiana. They won't root for Indiana or for Ohio State because
Right.
it's too much of a
Purdue
rival.
fans
I
will
got you.
not
I
root for
got
Yeah.
you.
Indiana.
I got you.
Yeah.
So it's because they're like this regional rival as opposed to like where it's other places in the country.
That's why I figure it's just the news makes such a big deal out of this. And I'm like, half those teams are not fan bases are not going to be rooting for them. It's not going to mean anything to them just because
I think it means more to more Americans probably that it's just like a
right.
cool thing.
No, it's funny when all these Canadian players beat other Canadian players, but they're wearing an American team jersey. All right, guys, anything else to add before we get out of here?
Exciting times in the UFL. There's rumors that Tom Brady might be interested in buying a team.
Are you allowed to own two professional
So if
football
he
teams?
saves the league, are you going to hate him still?
No, man, I've already said if he
Are you
saves
going to
the
suck his
UFL, quote
dick?
unquote saves, acting like the league needs saved right now, but
Well, it does.
um, it does not. But
Okay.
if he buys a team and like goes in, I'll do a full 180 on Tom Brady.
I mean,
What do
that'd
you
be
think
great.
what do you think Brady could do though, apart from his star power? What could he do like
You can try to get guys to
Well, I
develop
think
there.
so. Like, what? How much of the Raiders does he own?
like
10%.
10%, I've heard?
Yeah, but like with a UFL team, he could probably own like 100% and
Right.
kind of. Yeah, I think he could kind of
I don't know
manage
if
it
they
pretty
would allow
well.
that, to be honest.
Well, Fox already owns 100, like a decent chunk of the league. Like,
Okay. Like
so I
they
don't
own
know.
like certain teams, or how does that
No, no,
work?
no. Like the league is owned by like Redbird Capital, Fox, and I think one other person. But
How
it's
much
like
does The Rock
split.
own?
He's with Redbird. Like they're like they're him and Danny Garcia are like partial owners. Redbird is putting up the most capital,
Gotcha. Okay.
and then Fox is like a partial owner as well.
Yeah.
And
Why
they're
not in
trying,
the
but like they
Arena
said
League? Like you have
specifically, like they're trying to shop teams to like markets and find owners for teams to get the teams individually owned.
gotcha.
It is
Because
cold out here.
the other news was that I don't know if you guys have heard of Garage Beer.
No.
It's the beer that's like I think the Kelsey brothers are like partial owners of that. But the company has been like a thing for a while. It's a pretty cool company.
Maybe Keith Swift
They're
will do it.
buying a major they just tweeted something today that they're like putting a ownership stake into a football team. They didn't say what kind of football team or what. So
Well, if
Could
I
be
hadn't heard of the
Arena.
beer, then they could probably only afford a
Could
UFL
be
team. So.
Japan.
or an arena team.
You never know.
Well, there was a time when a bunch of celebrities owned arena teams.
I think John Gruden got involved with the Nashville team because his brothers
John
doing
Bon Jovi did.
John Elway did, I think.
The Philadelphia Soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking cold.
It's not cold. You're just dying, Maddie.
Well, that's all I got. It's the last week. It's the last week of the regular season, and it's playoff time.
All right. Well, can't wait for that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. Bye-bye.